So in case you've been living under a rock or you just haven't been keeping up with the baseball offseason, the Padres are looking good. They have made a lot of moves this offseason. So as you can read by the title of the video, today we'll be going over if the Padres are World Series contenders. Now, a disclaimer, I am not saying that the Padres are the best team in baseball, nor am I saying that they can win the NL West this year. Although I'm saying that it might be possible, and these are just the arguments for those. So the way I'll be doing this is I'll be going over three teams, the Yankees, Braves, and Dodgers, because while teams like the Twins, White Sox, and A's could get better than the Padres at some point, I think we can all agree that the Padres are better than them for now. So let's get right into this. Now, we'll flip to Yankee Stadium for our first team, the Yankees. Now, the Yankees didn't make a far postseason run last year, thanks to Mike Brasso, although they are still looking like a dangerous team going into 2021, like they always are. But for the rotation, it's kind of weak behind Garrett Cole, as they have Garrett Cole, Jordan Montgomery, Davy Garcia, Michael King, Domingo Germán, who has a lot of personal issues, and Luis Severino, who always seems to be injured. In terms of the Padres, they have a stacked rotation with their new acquisitions, consisting of Darvish, Blake Snell, Dinelson Lamet, Chris Paddock, and Mike Clevenger, whenever he'll come back. And even without Mike Clevenger, they have Adrian Morejon, I think I'm pronouncing that one right, and he's solid for a number 5 starter. Staying on the pitching side of things, we move to the bullpen, where on the Yankees side, they have a lot of elite relieving pitchers like Zach Britton, Adam Ottavino, and of course, Aroldis Chapman. For the Padres, they've got a couple underrated guys like Matt Strahm, Drew Pomeranz, and Emilio Pagan, and even though they can still re-sign Kirby Yates, I think that the Yankees have this one with how many star pitchers they have in their bullpen. Finally, on the offensive side of the diamond, this might surprise some people, but the Padres and the Yankees have very similar offenses. Both of them have flashy names and some underrated names that you might not know. For the Yankees, they've got names like Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and Gleyber Torres, while they can also bring up guys like Mike Ford, Mike Tauchman, and Gio Urshela. As for the Padres, the left side of their infield is completely stacked offensively with Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., while Austin Nola, Jake Cronenworth, and Tommy Pham can all go off. This one is pretty even, but based off of how bad the Yankees offense played last year, I think I'm going to have to give the slight edge to the Padres. For the Yankees versus Padres argument, these are the results that we have. For the starting rotations, the Padres won that one because all 5 of their starters have superstar potential, while the Yankees just have Garrett Cole. In the bullpen, the Yankees were just too much, as they have arguably the best bullpen in baseball, consisting of Adam Ottavino, Zach Britton, and Aroldis Chapman. Finally, on the offensive side, to many fans' surprise, the Padres and Yankees stack up very closely. And I actually ended up giving the edge to the Padres because many guys on the Yankees roster, like Gary Sanchez, just were not great last year for the Yankees. For our second team of the video, we go to Truist Park, where we look at the Atlanta Braves rotation. In this, they have players like Max Fried, Mike Soroka, Ian Anderson, and Cole Hamels. Although Soroka and Hamels were both injured last year, so we don't know how the Braves rotation will perform next year. Also, it just doesn't stack up to the Clevenger, Lamet, Snell, Darvish, and Paddock tandem that the Padres have. Now, surprisingly for Braves fans, their bullpen is actually the least powerful part of their lineup. Now, they are led by guys like Chris Martin and Will Smith, although after that, their best guys are Luke Jackson, AJ Minter, and Sean Newcomb, who aren't that good. In terms of the Padres, though, Pagan and Pomeranz are probably both better than Will Smith and Chris Martin, and they still have potential to get guys back like Kirby Yates and Trevor Rosenthal, who were great for them last year. Well, not as much Yates, but we know that he's a great closer. Finally, the last thing we need to do with the Braves is compare their offenses. Now, we all know Ronald Acuna, Freddie Freeman, and Ozzie Albies are stars. And Austin Riley, Dansby Swanson, and Travis d'Arnaud can also be stars, but for now, they're underrated pieces. No matter how good the Padres are with Machado and Tatis, I think that it's only right that we give the Braves the edge this one with how many MVP caliber players they really have on their roster, while still having the underrated guys that the Padres have. In this argument, we almost had a clean sweep in the Padres' favor, as we showed that both the starters and the bullpen on the Padres side were better than the Braves. Although on the offensive side, we saw that Freeman, Acuna, and Albies were just too powerful for Machado and Tatis to give the Padres the upper hand. Now, we go to Dodger Stadium to talk about our most difficult argument in the Los Angeles Dodgers. In the starting pitching department, they have Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, and a couple other guys. But again, I really think that the Padres have the best rotation in Clevenger, Lamet, Snell, Darvish, and Paddock. It's close, but I really do think that the Padres have the best starting pitching rotation in baseball. Moving on from starting pitching, we now go to the bullpen, where the Dodgers are stacked again. They have Kenley Jansen, they have Brusdar Graterol, who is completely nasty. They have Joe Kelly, Adam Kolarek, and then a couple of their recent additions, including Tommy Kahnle, Corey Knebel, and young Garrett Clevenger, who we don't know how good he'll be yet. In terms of the Padres, as much as I want to say the Padres have a better bullpen here, they just don't. They have a lot of underrated pieces, like I said in the other arguments, but it's not enough to get through the Dodgers bullpen, who, not to mention, can still re-sign Pedro Baez going into next year. Now, what I'm about to say here is going to be absolutely crazy. No, it's not. I think I gotta admit it. The Dodgers offense is also better than the Padres offense, and I think the Dodgers have just won the argument here. Mookie Betts, MVP candidate. Cody Bellinger, MVP candidate. Corey Seager, sneaky dark horse, MVP candidate. Max Muncy, he can hit it 450 feet. They've just got so many players on the team. And then they've got guys like Chris Taylor, who can play so many different positions. They could re-sign Jock Peterson if they really wanted to. Another power bat who can hit like 30 to 40 homers in a 162 game season. They're just crazy. Now, Padres offense is very, very good, don't get me wrong, but the World Series champion Dodgers are just better than the Padres in the offensive side and the bullpen. So let's review real quick. Now, like I said, I hate to admit this, but the Dodgers are still the best team in baseball. The Padres got off to a hot start with their starting rotation, but then we proved later that the bullpen and offense of the Dodgers are better than the Padres. Now, as we proved in our arguments, you can think what you want, but I really think that the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this as soon as it comes out, let's hope that 2021 is a good year. I, as a White Sox fan, am personally hoping that the White Sox end their season in 2021 much better than how they ended it in 2020.
Here's his 2-2. Mazzara takes strike three.